In the annals of history, few tales of faith and courage stand as tall as the story of Daniel in the lion's den. Our tale begins in the heart of an ancient kingdom ruled by the mighty King Darius, a king whose word was law and whose decrees shaped the lives of his subjects. In a move that would echo through centuries, King Darius issued a decree, a command that for 30 days no one in his kingdom would pray to any god or man save for him. A decree that was not merely a test of loyalty, but a proclamation of his power. And the stakes? They were deadly. For any who dared defy this royal command, a den of lions awaited. The decree was clear, its consequences terrifying. The people of the kingdom, gripped by fear, complied. Temples fell silent, prayers ceased, and for 30 days the only name invoked was that of King Darius. The king's decree had turned his subjects into a kingdom of one faith, one allegiance, but among the silent temples and the hushed prayers there was one man who dared to defy, a man whose faith was unwavering, whose devotion to his God was unshakable. He was Daniel, a beacon of courage in the face of the king's decree. Every day, as the sun set, Daniel would kneel by his window facing Jerusalem and pray. His prayers, whispered in defiance of the king's command, were a testament to his faith. He prayed not out of rebellion but out of devotion. His faith was his shield, his prayers, his defiance. In the face of tyranny, in the shadow of a lion's den, he chose faith over fear, devotion over submission. His prayers echoed in the silent temples, a lone voice in the kingdom of King Darius. His defiance was not an act of rebellion, but a testament to his faith, a testament to his God. But there was one man, a devout man named Daniel, who chose to defy this royal decree. Daniel, a man of unwavering faith, found himself at a crossroads. In the heart of Babylon, under the rule of King Darius, a royal decree had been issued, forbidding prayer to any god or human besides the king himself for 30 days. Yet this decree found itself up against a force of nature, a steadfast faith, embodied in a man named Daniel. Daniel was a man of unwavering conviction. His faith in God was an integral part of his existence, as natural to him as breathing. He was no stranger to adversity, for he had been uprooted from his homeland and thrust into the service of foreign kings. But through it all, his faith remained his guiding star, his constant companion. Despite the royal decree, which was nothing short of a death sentence for those who disobeyed, Daniel made a choice that was as brave as it was dangerous. He chose to continue his practice of praying to his God thrice a day, just as he had always done. Daniel's window, open towards Jerusalem, became a silent witness to his courage. There he bowed his head in prayer, not in defiance but in faith. His prayers were not a rebellion against the king's order, but an affirmation of his unwavering faith in his God. In those moments of prayer, the world outside his window ceased to exist. The power of the king, the threat of the lions, the whispers of betrayal all faded into insignificance. What remained was the profound connection between a man and his God, a bond forged in faith and love. Daniel's decision to continue praying did not stem from a reckless disregard for his life. Rather, it was a testament to his deep-seated belief in the power and protection of his God. He believed that his faith would shield him from harm, that his prayers would reach the heavens and bring him divine protection. Unbeknownst to him, his devout actions were about to set a series of dramatic events into motion. In the shadows, eyes watched and plotted against our faithful Daniel. In the corridors of power and privilege, the whispers began. A group of envious officials, they could not stand the sight of Daniel's unwavering faith and the favor he found in King Darius's eyes. They turned their envy into a sinister plot, a dangerous game of deceit and betrayal. Daniel, in his devotion, had a habit of praying to his God 3 times a day, a practice that was his strength, but one his enemies saw as a weakness, an opportunity. They knew that the king had a soft spot for Daniel, but they also knew that the king was a man of his word. And so they devised a crafty plan, approaching the king with a proposal. They suggested a decree, one that would prohibit prayer to any god or man other than King Darius himself for 30 days. The king, flattered by the suggestion and oblivious of its underhanded motive, agreed. As the ink of the decree dried, the officials watched Daniel from the shadows. As expected, Daniel continued his prayer routine, undeterred by the new law. They had him. With their evidence in hand, they approached the king, reporting Daniel's rebellion. King Darius was trapped, his hands tied by his own decree. His heart ached for Daniel, but the law was the law. With a heavy heart, the king ordered the arrest of Daniel. The officials reveled in their victory. watching as Daniel was led away, his face calm, his spirit unbroken. The king, filled with regret, could only watch as his trusted advisor was taken away. The king's parting words to Daniel echoed in the silent hall, "May your God, whom you serve, continually rescue you." And so Daniel found himself facing the mouth of the lion's den, his faith his only shield. His capture was a victory for his enemies, yes, but little did they know that they had just set the stage for a miracle, a testament to Daniel's unwavering faith. As the sun set, Daniel was left alone in the den with nothing but his faith and the hungry lions for company. The darkness of the den was thick, almost palpable, yet nestled between the prowling shadows and the growls of the lions, an unwavering beacon of faith held steady. Daniel, in the midst of danger, was a picture of calm. Around him the lions prowled, their eyes glinting ominously in the scarce light that filtered in. Yet there was no fear in Daniel's heart. His faith was his fortress, a bulwark against the terror that sought to grip him. In the quietude of the den he bowed his head and prayed. He prayed for deliverance, yes, but not merely for his own. He prayed for his captors, for the king who had been tricked into this act. He prayed for his people, scattered and lost. He prayed for the strength to endure, to hold on to his faith even when it seemed like the world was against him. Each word he spoke seemed to echo through the den, bouncing off the stone walls and filling the space with an ethereal serenity. The lions, those ferocious beasts, seemed to still, their roars quieting to a mere rumble. It was as if the very den recognized the power of Daniel's faith, the strength of his conviction. Throughout the night, Daniel held steadfast, his prayers a constant stream of hope and belief. He didn't allow himself to be swayed by the darkness or the danger that surrounded him. His focus remained unyielding and resolute on his God. His faith was a beacon in the darkness, a testament to his unwavering belief in divine providence. His prayers were not just words, they were the embodiment of his faith, a faith that held him secure amidst the prowling lions and the pressing darkness. As dawn approached, the palace was filled with dread and anticipation. Yet, in the heart of the den, Daniel remained steadfast, his faith unshaken. He had spent a night with the lions, a night of prayer and faith, a night of steadfast belief. And now, as the first rays of the sun began to pierce the gloom, he waited, his spirit unbroken, his faith unshaken. King Darius, filled with guilt and worry, paced his palace, awaiting the dawn. The regal halls echoed with the heavy thud of his footsteps, a haunting reminder of the decree he had unwittingly signed into existence. His heart was heavy, his spirit filled with an unbearable weight of remorse and anticipation. Night fell over the kingdom, but sleep eluded the king. His mind was a whirlwind of thoughts, a tumultuous storm of regret and hope. The image of Daniel, his trusted advisor, being hurled into the den of lions was etched into his mind. He remembered the unwavering faith in Daniel's eyes, the serene calm that seemed to radiate from him, even in the face of such peril. It was a faith that was both mystifying and inspiring. King Darius had been manipulated, deceived by his own advisors into issuing a decree that now endangered the life of his most faithful servant. Anger surged within him, not just at his advisors, but at himself for his naivety. Yet amidst the storm of emotions, there was a glimmer of hope, a flicker of belief that Daniel would survive. His mind wandered back to the countless stories Daniel had shared about his God, his power, his goodness. Could it be possible? Could this God save Daniel from the jaws of death? The king clung to this hope, this tiny beacon of light in the overwhelming darkness. He prayed not to his gods, but to Daniel's God, pleading for mercy, for a miracle. His eyes were drawn to the window, to the vast expanse of the night sky. Each passing hour seemed like an eternity as he waited for the dawn, for the moment of truth. His heart pounded in his chest, his breath hitched as he imagined the worst, yet hoped for the best. As the first light of dawn broke, King Darius raced to the lion's den. With the rising sun came a moment of truth. As the golden rays of dawn painted the sky, King Darius hurried to the lion's den, his heart pounded with a mixture of dread and hope. He'd spent a restless night filled with worry for Daniel, his trusted advisor. Now the moment of reckoning was upon him. As he approached the den, the eerie quietness was unnerving. The lions, usually roaring and restless, were silent. Swallowing his fear, the king called out, "Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God, whom you serve continually, been able to rescue you from the lions?" His voice echoed off the stone walls, the words hanging in the air, as if even the wind dared not disturb them. Then, from the depths of the den, a voice emerged, steady and calm. "O King, live forever. My God sent his angel, and he shut the mouths of the lions. They have not hurt me, because I was found innocent in his sight." Relief washed over King Darius like a tidal wave. Daniel was alive. His faith in his God had saved him from the jaws of death. It was nothing short of a miracle. Daniel had been thrown into a den of ravenous lions, yet he emerged unscathed, his spirit unbroken. His faith had not wavered, even in the face of certain death. This was a testament to the power of Daniel's God, a display of divine intervention that left King Darius in awe. He had seen with his own eyes that Daniel's God was not a mere figure of worship, but a living, powerful entity capable of performing miracles. The king ordered Daniel to be lifted from the den. There was not a scratch on him, for he had trusted in his God. The news spread throughout the kingdom, a tale of faith and divine deliverance that would be told and retold for generations. In the face of death, Daniel's faith had not only saved him, but also revealed the power of his God. Overwhelmed by the miracle he had witnessed, King Darius had a change of heart. The king, once deceived by his advisors, had seen the error of his ways. He'd witnessed firsthand the power of Daniel's faith, seen the lion's jaws clamped shut by an unseen force. This was no ordinary man's faith. It was faith of such magnitude that it could tame the wildest of beasts. King Darius, awed and humbled, knew he had to acknowledge this divine intervention. He recognized that Daniel's God was not a deity to be trifled with, nor was he one among many. No, this God was indeed the living God, enduring forever. His kingdom shall not be destroyed, and his dominion shall be to the end. In a move that surprised many, the king set forth a new decree. It was not one of punishment or prohibition, but rather one of reverence and worship. He commanded that throughout his royal dominion people were to tremble and fear before the God of Daniel. This was a God who rescues and saves, who performs signs and wonders in heaven and on earth. This decree was not only a testament to the king's change of heart, but also a bold acknowledgement of Daniel's faith. It was a proclamation that echoed through the kingdom, reaching the ears of every man, woman, and child. From the wealthiest noble to the humblest peasant, all were called to recognize the power of Daniel's God. In this decree, King Darius did more than command reverence. He invited his people to witness the power of unwavering faith. He showed them that faith is not a sign of weakness, but a source of strength, a beacon of hope in the face of adversity. And thus Daniel's faith had brought about a change that echoed through the kingdom. His faith had not only saved him from the lions, but had also transformed a king and his kingdom. It was a testament to the power of faith, a reminder that faith can move mountains, tame lions, and change hearts. Daniel's story is not just a tale of survival, but a testament to the power of faith. As we reflect on his journey, we uncover profound lessons that resonate even in our modern lives. Firstly, Daniel's story teaches us about faith. He was a man who was unswervingly devoted to his beliefs, even when faced with the most daunting adversities. His faith was not a passive one. It was active and dynamic, dictating his actions and shaping his character. He did not merely believe in God, he lived his faith. This is an invaluable lesson for us all, reminding us that faith is not just about believing, but also about living our beliefs. Secondly, we learn about courage. Daniel's courage is vividly demonstrated when he chose to continue praying, fully aware of the king's decree and the potential consequences. He did not hide, he did not falter. Instead, he stood firm, displaying a remarkable level of courage that inspires us to face our own lions, whatever they may be. Lastly, Daniel's story highlights the power of prayer. His survival in the lion's den was not a result of chance or luck, but a testament to the efficacy of prayer. Despite the threats and dangers, Daniel continued to pray, and his prayers were answered. This teaches us that prayer is not a futile exercise, but a powerful tool that can bring about profound changes. In essence, Daniel's story is a mirror reflecting the virtues of faith, courage, and the power of prayer. It's a narrative that encourages us to remain steadfast in our beliefs, to be brave in the face of trials, and to never underestimate the power of prayer. In the face of adversity, may we all have the courage to stand firm in our beliefs, just as Daniel did. As we navigate the ups and downs of life, let's remember Daniel's lessons and let them guide us on our journey. Daniel's tale, etched in the annals of time, continues to inspire us today. His story, shrouded in the mystic allure of the ancients, serves as a beacon of hope and a testament to the power of faith. The tale of Daniel in the lion's den is not just an age-old biblical narrative, but a timeless lesson on the potency of unwavering faith and steadfast courage. Through the king's decree, Daniel's faith, the betrayal, his night in the den, the king's anxiety, Daniel's deliverance, and the king's new decree, we journeyed together into the heart of the lion's den. Each scene was a chapter, a fragment of a larger picture that painted the portrait of a man whose faith was his shield, his safeguard, his solace. In the face of the most daunting adversities, Daniel stood firm, his faith unshaken. He was thrown into a den of lions, yet he emerged unscathed, his spirit undeterred. His faith was his fortress, his courage his companion. From the depths of the lion's den, Daniel teaches us that faith can withstand even the most ferocious of beasts. This is not merely a tale of survival, but an enduring testament to the power of faith. It is a lesson in courage, a lesson in perseverance, a lesson in hope. Daniel's story is a call to us all to be courageous in our convictions, steadfast in our faith, and unwavering in the face of adversity. Let the tale of Daniel inspire you. Let his courage guide you, his faith uplift you. Let his story remind you that even in the darkest of dens, faith can be your beacon, your shield, your deliverance. Remember, faith can move mountains and tame lions. And with that, we conclude our journey into the lion's den. Until our next story, stay faithful, stay courageous. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel.